Good morning today, 8th August 2024. We are going to discuss editorials of The Hindu. Today's quote, a goal without plan is just a wish. It was told by Antonio de Saint. He's from France. You should, goal is great thing. Everyone can have goal, but to achieve the goal, you should have proper plan. Plan, the bridge between plan and goal can be achieved with strategy, hard work, dedication, and determination. So, our goal should not become a wish. We need to supplement with the plan, strategy, hard work, dedication, determination, and perseverance. All these things will help us in landing on our goal. First article talks about Jammu's counter-terror grid. We already know Pakistan is a deep state territorial terror affairs. It deals with all terror related things. If you see, this is the line of actual control. We deal with China, this area. You can see this area. This is LAC we call line of actual control. This area is excites in so India's area. It is encroached by Chinese People Liberation Army, and then this area is also under disputed area Demachok. So this area where you see Zojila Pass, even Kargil, that area, this is our area. So this area is a Pakistan occupied Kashmir. So Gilgit and Baltistan comes under this, and then between these two things, so we have, if you see this line, this is called line of control. LAC, line of actual control we have with China. LOC, line of control we have with Pakistan. So Pakistan always sends a terrorist across this line of control, and then it creates a lot of trouble. Article 370 imposed, and after that terrorist activity gradually came down, and then even recently Galwan Valley issue happened in this area, in Himachal locations. Galwan Valley issue happened, so Indian territory diverted its army to this area, then even terror activity is increasing. So this article talks about counter-terror grid. We'll discuss this article in detail. For the last couple of years, Jammu region has been in the news because of all the wrong reasons. Even last few months, we are hearing extensively. Security forces have been suffered irreparable losses. Even we lost many of our security personnel. Terrorists are very active because it is already supported by Pakistan through its army. One of the major factors that attributed can be weakened counter-terrorism grid. What is this counter-terrorism grid? We deployed line of actual control. Our army we are deployed to line of actual control that we share with China when incident happened in Galwan Valley in June 2020. Soon after that, we faced many challenges. Now, in order to remove this particular challenge where terrorists are encroaching in our Indian soil, so additional troops to include special forces teams have been inducted in the region to fill the void. The daily one report, daily is on news agency. It titled so 3,000 army troops and 500 special teams inducted into Jammu area in July 19, 2024. Recently, even news of Assam Rifles troops being inducted into Jammu Kashmir region to strengthen this counter-terror operation in the region is reported by several news agencies, electronic and even print media also. Daily also reported that CRPF to replace two battalion of Assam Rifles in Manipur. Kuki-Joe groups oppose the move. This is like even they reported also, because it is essence that terror activity is growing. We need to increase the people. If this group obviously correct, so they highlight the seriousness on the part of the government. At the same time, increasingly deteriorating security scenario in the entire Jammu region, from Katwa, Poonch, also Chenab Valley, comprising this Doda and other sub-regions. However, there are several things inducting these troops from outside towards facing these challenges of the counter-terrorism grid. Counter-terror deployment grid, it helps units and sub-units deployed in this manner to dominate. Likely, they will be deployed in the vulnerable areas that will have potential to offer terrorist freedom movement. So this vulnerable area, our people may not be going. So this area will become a potential target for a terror movement. So they will move freely. The grid establishment will be based on the threat perceptions carried out by army, several factors, the terrain, vulnerable areas, even local population inclination, whether population is supportive or otherwise. When population becomes supportive, we'll get good support actually. Subunits, They embark on these missions of hunting down the terrorist by taking special operations based on psychological aspects as well, like people friendliness also. Knowledge of the terrain and winning hearts of the minds of the people in the local area will definitely help these operations in successful manner. Given the nature of the task, they will be following in the battlefield, the entire process is well thought and thorough, deliberate and time consuming. Sub-unit commanders gain confidence of the people in the local area. The eventual aim should be gaining information of the terrorist who may be active on that area. If local people help in this aspect, this will definitely will work. With classical teaching of counter-insurgency, even counter-terrorism, local population can be divided into three subsets. One minority group subset, they support the state and the terrorist respectively both time, and majority, 50% and above, they will be neutral. They won't be supporting anything. They will just remain neutral. Success will depend upon sustaining the support of the minority they already have and winning over the neutral majority, those who are not on the either side. So by gaining two-thirds support of the local population, we will definitely conduct operations against the terror things. Indian army combating emergencies based on operations by infantry, even Rashtriya rifle units deployed in a grid. The deployed grid in hinterland supports the counter-infiltration deployment on the line of control. It will form multi-layered arrangements. It will definitely help in tackling terrorists on the line of control area. In the context, additional troops being inducted. It is to be noted that newly inducted troops they will have the challenging task at hand to orient themselves to settle down in the respective area responsibility. They have to understand the geography of that area. They have to understand the threat perception. They have to understand the entire environment there. In doing so, they should have inescapable requirement of knowing area, knowing the local population, even importantly winning them over. We cannot just work out the mathematics. This is the area we need to provide 10 people. This is the area we need to provide 1 people. Kathua we need to provide 100 people. This will not work in this way. The challenge could be mitigated. This newly inducted troops, they can be uh, joined along with already existing troops. That will help them to function how they are already existing troops, how they are functioning, how they are identifying the area. It will give them the knowledge, and then it will help them to act in independent manner also. Instead of we can deploy them independently, it will not yield any results. As far as possible, the new body of troops in the area should be deployed as subunit under respective commandant leaders in good manner. So in 1980s, 1990, Assam Rifle units deployed in the valley. It is not the first time they deployed in 1980, 1990. So they carried out one operation called Operation Dudi. It was carried out very successfully in Chokibal area. Seven Assam Rifles, they are still remembered as one of the most successful operation. So this hallmark of Operation Dudi mainly conducted under commanding officer of battalion with his subunits playing a major role. The major lessons we need to learn from this thing is commanding officer need to be trusted, allowed, controlled, conduct operations. However, in the recent conditions, increasing intensity of the operation, any deployment operations these days tend to go into control of command beyond the battalion level, so it will adversely affect seamless control. So it may not happen seamlessly. In essence, additional unit inducted, they to be deployed and tasked with integral body of the troops. They must be allowed sufficient time to gain control over the new area, supported by existing command structure, even brigades of the sector. So against a mathematical equation like how many people need to be deployed, what is that area, if 10 people deploys, they will work definitely. Those things will not work. They have to understand. So it has to be realized. Security forces are in this for long haul. So expecting a good outcomes will be detrimental in all aspects. So this is a good article. So we'll move on to next article. The leader who lost touch with Bangladesh. So basically in Bangladesh, people came against Bangladesh regime. Sheikh Hasina resigned and then she left the country. This article, Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's exit from the power and country become very sudden and very fast. Many are still trying to understand why this Iron Lady Sheikh Hasina seemingly completely control over the Bangladesh movement. Even the student movement intensified that compelled even this led to Bangladesh. So people are trying to understand why it happened. Bangladesh descended into this chaos and mindless, blood telling, but bloodletting and then violence. The urge for vendetta. So personal attack on Sheikh Hasina. Sheikh Hasina's partymen, religious minority, policemen, even border guards, they have been targeted. Even dozens of them dead, hundreds are being injured, and then, not to speak, huge loss of property also. Most worrying part is a systemic attack on police stations, looting the weapons by element believed to be religious radicals. There is a strange repeat of history for Sheikh Hasina because her father also died in the similar fashion. In 1975, with almost her entire family, including her great father, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, a dead bloody coup. The one people who had supported Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, they only led to coup and then they killed Sheikh Hasina and her sister Rehana had to seek shelter in India at the time. This was made possible because of there was a personal intervention by Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, who shared personal bond with Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Only difference between 1975 and now is 1975 that time Hasina was a housewife. She was a daughter of great leader who led people from freedom. 1971 Bangladesh become freedom country. Now Hasina has been world longest serving women leaders. She served almost 4 full years terms as a prime minister. Hasina fall happened because of the growing disconnect with masses. So many leaders who swing towards authoritarian governance. So she became totally disconnected with the population. Hasina presided over this 10-year-long economic turnaround for Bangladesh, where country's per capita income increased beyond India, and even there is a huge boost in infrastructure such as port, road, railways, expansion in power generation also. Country's human development indicator also showed improvement in areas such as women education and health. Bangladesh was close to becoming world top garment export, and remittance income surged as the diaspora, because country is hopeful of its future, money back to their home. Even 6.15 kilometer bridge on the Padma River, Ganga River, Ganga and Brahmaputra will meet. Ganga and Brahmaputra, these rivers will meet. This is called Padma River. So he built 6.15 kilometer. That basically helps in pushing with their own funds. They have built it, and it will lead to greater connectivity to 21 districts and then increase the country's GDP. Hasina can believe that at that point, more development could give her leeway in democratic deficit. But her detractors blame her for three less than fair elections marked by there was elections they marked by huge rigging and did not reflect ground realities in the Bangladesh. She also accused turning Bangladesh into one party police state like Hosni Mubarak Egypt. Egypt Hosni also, he is also one party state where extrajudicial killing happened, enforced disappearances, even opposition, large scale arrest happened on the opposition. There were a lot of charges placed against people. This became recurrent feature in her 15 years regime. This way, democracy deficit affected Awami League more than the opposition. Awami League is the party which is owned by Sheikh Hasina. With the victory in election, every time she took it for granted, Awami League had lost its urge to spot and promote popular leaders, a strong mass connector. They were who were capable of holding ground in crises such as this, and presented by recent anti-quota protest also. In the last decade, Awami League leadership character underwent massive transformation. Once party was poor, middle class people, they were led ideologically driven to this party. But in the last decade, many business people tried to get into party through their muscle power, and then they seek many nominations to the parliament seat. They had very little to connect with grassroots with people, because even organization also in the gone in the same way. Only way they could election only way they could win election by securing nomination through doubtful means, because with the help of the police, then corrupting the bureaucracy, even hiring the musclemen, gundas, rowdies to rig the elections. Many of these business turned politicians, they dented party image with their nexus to organized crime and corruption. All this while, Sheikh Hasina also came to put less trust in the old party, and then she turned more favorable towards these business tycoons. One of the worst bank defaulters of the country, also accused large-scale money laundering, was inducted into Prime Minister Council of Advisors. He became such an independent power center that many began to call him Deputy PM. Bangladesh economic growth was adversely impacted by even COVID-19 pandemic. 3 crore people became jobless out of 17 crore people. Foreign exchange reserves fall down by 44% in 3 years, raising apprehension about Bangladesh capacity to pay back loans taken from the multilateral organizations. Even Bangladesh money, Taka, dropped to 28% this year. Spiraling inflation, price rise, they are often given credit to growth of ruling party backed extortion syndicate who use their businesses, that currently turned this violence. How she handled why mishandling? This quota system, whatever we were discussing earlier, on June 5th, High Court upheld quotas of the government job, and a lot of students came on the street, and then they wanted a merit-based system. Hasina government agreed to scrap the quota of the government job 30% to the descendants of the 1971 freedom fighters. Even 2018 student agitation also. Hasina has to do was bring the student leaders at the table, discuss with them, and then implement it peacefully. But instead, she initially ignored those protesters. She took at light hand. Then this upset her. One of her comment, she called them Razakars. What is Razakar? This is a very derogatory term. This term was used to people who supported Pakistan during 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War. So she called students or those who protesting against as Rajakars. This will become a very huge issue. This became very counterproductive, and then situation got out of the control, and eventually Hasina had to pay heavy price for her arrogance of power. And then she lost her mass connect that once upon a time that had helped her to grow to highest office. So it is very tragic that she has to follow in the same footstep of her father. Her father is dead. Luckily, she got her life, but she fled to India. So at the end, this mass connect, whenever leader, whoever is there, they should be connected with people. Otherwise, it will cost a lot to the leaders. So this is about this article. So yesterday we have discussed much about what are the implications for India. From Indian point of view, Hasina's regime was very good for us because we didn't get much uh, radical Islamist activities in Bangladesh, and then borders were safe and secure. We have almost 4,096-kilometer border with Bangladesh, largest border with our neighborhood. So it is very worrisome. Let's see what happens in the future course. Next article is about stray dog policy. Supreme Court recently gave a judgment ending a 15-year-old case titled Animal Welfare Board ANR versus People of Elimination of Stray Dogs. Basically, it is called Indian Stray Dog case. Supreme Court told under all circumstances there cannot be any indiscriminate, killing of the canines. Canines means dog of families. All the dogs, even rabies, all these things are called canines. And the authorities have to take action in terms of mandate and spirit the prevalence of legislation in place. So Supreme Court judgment that authorities must stop indiscriminate killing of the canines. So they cannot kill the dogs. Last hearing, it was on May 9th, but it was held up. Then all dog lovers, they have been, they were waiting for this final judgment on July 12th. They gave good judgment, and judgment came. They cannot kill indiscriminately dogs. This became a very cheered outcome in some circles. Even some criticize the judgment. The whole case centered about whether municipal and local authorities they can kill stray dogs to reduce dog population, and they eradicating rabies, prevent man-animal conflicts. One thing we need to ask is whether local bodies must follow World Health Organization backed scientific approach of sterilization. What is sterilization? Sterilization is basically stopping the reproductiveness, controlling the birth of the dogs. That is called like scientific principle. Legally speaking, matter was framed as a battle of supremacy between state and municipal laws that authorized municipal laws to killing a lot of dogs. This is called culling. Culling means when a lot of things happen, they'll kill, backed by state laws. So this is called culling. Even central law opposes this culling. Prevention of Cruelty to Animal Act, Animal Birth Control Rules 2001 also, that mandates that killing should be strictly prohibited. Central law states killing should be strictly prohibited. Only one solution is scientific solution of sterilization, that is birth control. The state and municipal laws permitting killing on stray dogs were challenged in various high courts of Bombay, Karnataka, Himachal Pradesh. They ruled that local authorities have discretionary power to kill stray dogs. So they are not bound by Prevention of Cruelty to Animal Act 1960. They told state can kill. Kerala High Court told local bodies don't possess such power. Central law prevails. Central government they have to follow the direction. That means they should not do. All these things judgment they are appealed and then finally came to Supreme Court, and then Supreme Court gave historic judgment. Supreme Court also told since starting of the case, a lot of discussions has happened. There has been change in the legislative landscape. Even Animal Birth Control Rules 2023, even under Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960. These legislations mandate the need for killing by municipal offices is prohibited and sterilization must be followed. So municipal officers cannot kill the stray dogs. Supreme Court then told any parties with issues regarding these new laws can challenge in the relevant high courts. In the meantime, governing law in the land remains Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960, Animal Birth Control Rules 2023. So these will prohibit killing of stray dogs by local authorities, even municipalities. These things will remain in force. Now, what is the duty of every citizen? Our fundamental duties states 51A of the Indian Constitution. It shall be duty of the every citizen of India to protect, improve natural environment, including forest, lake, rivers, and wildlife, to have compassion for living creatures. Judgment also noted compassion to all living beings. We talk all about ethics and ethical values. We should have compassion to all living beings. That is already included in our Indian Constitution under fundamental duties, Article 51 AG. So this mandate cast obligation on the state to maintain them. State should not help authorities in culling the dogs. With such a positive and compassionate conclusion, very scientifically backed judgment, Supreme Court ended this matter. The dog haters, basically called psychophobes, they certainly go to high courts and file writ petitions praying that striking down of new central animal birth control rules. So let's see what happens. But question what we need to ask is, what good would that do? Killing of all stray dogs is the world solution. We promise to deliver us from all evils. If we kill dogs, that will deliver us from evils. Whether it is the only solution. Science does not back claim that killing help reduce population. World Health Organization expert consultation on rabies that met in Geneva October 2024. In its technical report, they supported sterilization programs. They told that only effective human method of controlling stray dog is population. Sterilization is only effective human method. So killing that should be stopped and sterilization is the only method. That's what told World Health Organization expert consultation. Even 2014 report commissioned by Bombay Municipal Corporation stated sterilization is the only scientific human solution. The same corporation in 1994 admitted killing of stray dogs did not affect the population. See, 1994 and 2014, how much change has happened. Bombay municipality admitted to killing about 4.5 lakh stray dogs between 1984-94 and spent more than 2 crore of rupees. But what take the cake is that despite no evidence to prove efficacy of killing or evidence of the country, the same Bombay Municipal Corporation approached Supreme Court seeking permission to kill stray dogs in this case. We can only hope spirit of the scientific temper and humanism, as we included in the Indian Constitution under Article 51AH, it imbibes in our citizen minds. We must remain distant ourselves from this unscientific barbaric methods, killing of the stray dogs. In favor of, we should be in favor of scientific approach that will be win-win solution for everyone. Around 10,000 years ago, 10,000 BC, so what happened? We domesticated stray dogs, and then now we are going to kill it. So what kind of society where we are going, we need to think ourselves. This is about the article about the stray dogs. The next article is about under overlords. This is always, there will be always struggle between the center and the union territory of Delhi. Central government is ruled by National Democratic Alliances. Union territory is ruled by Aam Aadmi Party. So being opposition parties all the time, Aam Aadmi Party creates many issues. And then this article is heavily inclined towards Aam Aadmi Party also. Needless to say that. But let's see like what author has written. Supreme Court verdict recently, it highlighted and then uphold, even supported. Lieutenant Governor of Delhi can exercise control in authority while appointing commissioners, members to Delhi Municipal Commission. Alderman means those who are representing municipal corporations. They supported, Lieutenant Governor can exercise independent authority. And then they also supported, they also ended the vulnerability of the elected government of National Capital Territory Delhi to central overlordship. So basically author is telling, this article basically is all about, there is a municipal corporation in Delhi. Lieutenant governor elected can directly elect these people to this municipal corporation, right? Lieutenant governor basically, as per Indian constitution, he should be acted on the aid and advisor of the chief minister and council of minister. So this is not happening. So now this is against our judgment. That's what author says. Our Indian constitution says, lieutenant governor, all decisions should be based on the aid and advice of the chief minister and council of minister. However, lieutenant governor acted independently. Even Supreme Court supported this decision that lieutenant governor can act independently without the decision from the ruling party in case of the appointment of the commissioners. Even High Court held that this is a statutory power. It should not be drawn from Delhi Council of Ministers. That's what it says. Even if you trace Delhi Municipal Corporation Act 1957, it was amended in 1993. It states that different authorities can speak with their different roles. So it basically, all the thing it says is that central government is having control over Delhi government, so this thing is, that's what the essence of the article. So that's it. Thank you very much for the discussion.